All rise for the pledge, please. Mr. Gould, if you will.
Sir, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yeah.
Here.
Here. Here.
Here. Well, welcome everybody. Just before we start, as we always say, we're being recorded tonight, so anybody who does not wish to be recorded can head home and watch us live on Channel 22, local Channel 22. Okay, so we're gonna start off with the school committee chairman report. There's not much going on tonight. I just wanna say, as far as the snow removal went, the facilities did a pretty good job here. Everything was open. And there's always gonna be, we all know, there's always gonna be piles that people don't think belong there. There's gonna be melting overnight that melting during the day that freezes overnight, that maybe someone didn't hit with ice, hit with some ice melt, stuff like that, but they do get to it. Sidewalks that weren't done, not the middle of the sidewalks, but the side of the sidewalks where I know parents like to drop their kids off and they can't open the passenger door because the snow's there. So the DPW does get to it. They do a great job. But again, you gotta remember, there's a lot going on in town. It's not just what people see every day that gets done. So, and I do wanna clarify a couple things. There were different departments. This is why I saw somebody complaining about the rail trail was done, but some of the side work's done. Totally different department that takes care of the rail trail, takes care of the buildings, and then a separate department takes care of the sidewalks and the streets. So you can't really compare the two. But everybody's out there doing the best they can, working around the clock. I didn't really see too many issues. I saw some stuff built up around the sides, but once again, they'll get to it. But again, the big thing is parents gotta be a little more cooperative. You don't have to be first. You don't have to be the front line every single time. It's just a fact. You don't have to get here at, if your kid's getting out of school at 2:05, you don't have to get here at 12 o'clock to make sure you get the best parking spot. Because it's still a place of business. So you can't be blocking off the doorways and out back just because you wanna have the best parking spot. So we all gotta have a little cooperation, and so, anyone want to add to that about the snow?
I think things got better, and the town did really help out in the last snowstorm with getting stuff cleared, and we had a couple things that people had reached out to me about that they were able to come in and clear in front of the vets and some other areas. So I got a lot of good feedback from people that I know as far as getting rid of the snow. And then the chief was able, through Mike, to bring down an officer to help with the back of Belmonte with the double parking. Hopefully that continues, because I think that was gonna end up bubbling over into like a fight of some sort from what I saw any time I was there. So, and Mr. Blair has done a great job as well with that. So, but he's not, I'd rather see him be a principal than a traffic director, so.
Absolutely.
But thanks.
Yeah, and just to piggyback on that, there was some things that maybe the first storm didn't get done, and, it was brought to everybody's attention, and now it's protocol for the DPW to do certain things. Like I said, everybody can learn from somebody, so we all learn something from the storms. And again, I agree with Mr. Blair, and all the other principals shouldn't have to be out there directing traffic because people wanna park where they shouldn't park, So, yeah, thank you, Brian. All right, next we're gonna move on to the superintendent of schools, the report from Mr. Hashem, so.
I'll be quick as well. I do want to thank the DPW. They kept me in touch. They kept in touch with me to let me know what the status was when I was trying to make the calls for the no school. I know everybody thinks that's easy to do, but it's easier said than done, because you want to have school because you know that people have to go to work, but at the same time, you want to make sure that everything's safe for the kids to be here. The DPW was excellent, and they even kept me abreast of, what steps they were going to make. I was aware that, the veterans was going to have some mounds there for us to open on Wednesday, but they came after school when all the students were gone and really wiped everything pretty clean. So it was nice. I thought it was a good effort. I thought our shovelers did a great job. Again, there's going to be icy spots. It's winter in New England. Just everybody's got to be patient and careful. I do want to mention the Drama Fest competition is on Saturday. This is the second year Saugus is hosting. And they're also performing in it. They're doing the music box. So that's a great take. If you go to that, I don't know how many schools there are performing on Saturday, but usually it's around 7 or 8 schools, all present around a 20-minute play, and it's a competition, and there's scoring. They have to set up the set, they have to break the set down, they have to do the performance in between. And it was nice, because my oldest daughter was in it for 4 years, so I got to understand exactly how competitive it was. So that's a great take for everybody to experience. So if you go on Saturday, there'll be 7 or 8 schools performing. They also are, I talked to Nick Raponi, who's the drama club director, they're also going to be hosting the middle school drama fest preliminary round. And not this weekend, but the weekend after, we are now hosting the semifinals for the high school drama fest, which that's a first for us, so that's a great opportunity to do that. And the last thing, and I know Ms. McCarthy will talk about it too, I met with the woman from Safe Routes to School today about next steps. So we still haven't gotten the traffic study yet. That'll be forthcoming. She asked if we were interested in doing, and I said yes, a cluster study of where the kids live, relationship to the school, how many people live within half a mile, a mile and a half, a 2 mile, and go through there. I also did talk to her about some suggestions for a policy that includes e-bikes as well as many other things. And that's something that I'm going to be working with Ms. Mastrocola on for policy subcommittee. That's something that's going to be forthcoming pretty soon.
Awesome. And one more thing I want to add to is, just so no one thinks we're overlooking it, we're going to have all the sports teams and all the record breakers, and there's just so much good stuff going on. Mr. Gould's actually going to touch on that a little bit now, but we are going to have everybody here, and we're going to have one meeting just so we can just really give these kids recognition they
Mr.
deserve.
Chairman, I think it's going to be March 12th, our next meeting.
Okay.
I talked to the AD.
But if Mr. Gould wants to
No, absolutely,
do
yeah.
a
he
little overview
can-
right now.
Oh, sure.
Don't mind.
Before I do, the music box is being actually reviewed tonight at 7 o'clock
Oh,
at the
okay.
auditorium, so anybody that can run down to the auditorium tonight can go see them.
Is this where they practice?
They're
it,
actually
like,
gonna
under
do the play. They're gonna do the play tonight.
But they're gonna do the setup and breakdown.
Everything.
too,
They're
I
doing
think.
everything, so
'Cause
they're
they
all
have
there
the
now,
stopwatches
and
going
at 7
on.
o'clock,
Yeah.
they'll do the music box. So if you get time to run down there, do so. Yeah, Mr. Sereno's coming in on March 12th, but just a quick thing. Congratulations to all the winter teams. It was a great winter, including the cheerleading teams, both the young cheerleaders and the high school cheerleaders. The second half of the boys' basketball was a totally different team than the first half. You know, if you went to watch in the first half, they were a certain type of team. Second half, they were very good. They made a drive, and they made it to the States tournament. And they were down by 1 point with 2 minutes to go the other night, and unfortunately lost. But they had a great second half of the season. Congratulations to them and the coaches. Girls basketball played well all year. I just want to give a special shout out to one of the recipients of Peyton DiBiaso, who broke the school record of 60 years ago from Alex Wynn, and she broke the record of 1,710 points. She was on Channel 4 the other night. She's going to be on High Five here coming up soon. She'll be on TV again. Shout out to her and all the girls that played. Saugus PBD Wrestling had a great season. They actually won their division for the first time. And our Justin Bremberg had over 135 victories in his career. Unfortunately, in the States this week, he won the first match. He was ahead 8-0 in the second match. He hurt himself, and he had to give a medical, so he couldn't finish the States, but he had a great year. And then the cheerleading again to their victory. So anyway, all the Sachem winter sports and cheerleading did great and represented Sachem Nation really well. Thank you.
We also had a couple of, we had a state champion on the track team as well. And we'll go over all this stuff,
Yeah.
but I just didn't want anybody to be slighted.
Yep.
Yeah, so there was a lot of good stuff going on at those track meets as well, so. But, all right, thank you, Mr. Gould. I do believe next up, we are going to have the student representative. Is that Ms. Silver out there? There she is.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Good afternoon, everyone. For those who don't know me, my name is Maria Silva, and I have been the class president for the class of 2026 for the past 4 years. Over these past 4 years, we've held many events and fundraisers all leading up to this fourth year, our senior year. Recently, for the past couple of weeks, we have sent out letters to local businesses, giving them the opportunity to sponsor a senior, is what we called it. They could pick any donation of their choice in hopes to pay for some of the students' senior week activities, because that is a very pricey week. During that week, we have planned a Red Sox Day, which will be held on June 4th. We have a midday game, and we have purchased a handful of tickets and will be first come, first served to the students, and those who do not make the deadline will have to purchase their tickets separately, because we do not have the funds to purchase enough for all the students, but we also don't know if all the students are interested. The Wednesday before that Thursday, we have our senior prom, which will be held at Black Swan in Georgetown. We'll have our promenade before that as well. We have had enough funds to purchase coach buses for all of our students, and we're hoping to make the prom as well as the rest of the senior week free for all of our students. Other than senior week itself, we have planned many events for around Easter time. We are planning to sell pies to local families, friends, anyone interested. Also, we want to plan Hop On Down is what we're going to call it, a event at the high school for students K through 8 or any student around those ages who want to come on down and join us in any activities, fun games and stuff like that, where we'll have our class board there helping around and other seniors to connect with those young students. But other than that, we'll have little fundraisers, maybe a volleyball tournament around or March Madness even, just to get the community together and get some funds to help make those activities free for senior week. But other than that, thank you so much, school committee, because this wouldn't have been possible without any of you guys and the rest of the community. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Maria. Hold on, we gotta ask you some questions. You never get away that easy. You never get away that easy. I don't really have any questions. Anybody else have any questions?
No, I guess one thing to say is Maria and a few of the other softball players have been coming down to the youth clinics on Sunday and helping out. And they've done, I think you've been at games. I've seen you at a lot of things.
Yeah, we've umpired a couple games, actually.
Yeah, so it's been great. And I think it's like a testament. I think that in the sports world, it's changing in Saugus. The older kids are really involved with the younger kids. We have a lot of kids coming through the program. I know I say that a lot, but it's great to see the high school kids come down because I know the younger girls really appreciate it, so thank you.
Yeah, we're also trying to bring that to like the academic side too. Like we want to involve like just the students in general, try to like involve them more with the younger kids as well.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, I want to actually thank you for being such a good role model for the last 4 years. Not just for the students here, but like Brian was saying, for the younger kids too. You know, you're on Honor Society, you play 15 different sports, you know, class president, you go to everything. So it's good to see kids being role models as well, not just, you know, running for an office just to, hey, look at me, I'm president, you know. You did a lot of hard work over the last 4 years, and I got to see it firsthand because my son's a senior, obviously. So I want to say thank you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
Yeah. I do have a question. You
Yeah.
mentioned that you want to make senior week free for all the seniors, yes?
Yes.
How much do you need to make that possible?
You got a checkbook?
No, I think this is an important number to know.
I would say to be comfortable, I would say around 25,000 to 30,000, just to have like a little bit left over as well, just in case like anything goes wrong or we need to spend a little bit more extra money. But I would say around that number, yeah.
Where you
And
guys
how
going, to
much do you
Vegas?
have now?
We're exceeding around 30,000, yeah.
Great.
I
Good news.
do have one question. Are you guys wanting the parade this year again?
The senior parade? Yeah,
Yeah.
of course, yeah.
We didn't do it last year, right?
I think since COVID.
Is that something you're planning?
We haven't planned it yet, no, but we're interested, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, no, well, there wasn't really an issue. It was what the kids wanted last year. We just do what the kids want. If the kids don't want to do it, then we don't force it on them, you know? Yeah, no, that was, last year they didn't want the parade. Because it was,
Yeah, because of something else.
well, they
though.
had,
It was-
by the time that anybody even mentioned the parade, it was already senior week pretty much. And you guys had everything lined up. I think Kyle will probably remember that. Everything was already lined up. from-
Sometime the schedule.
The 10-day stretch was already packed every day.
Well, that's kind of why I was bringing it up. There's plenty of time now if there was going to be planned and if we
Yeah.
need to do anything.
Yeah, because our schedule's not finalized yet, so we could definitely squeeze it in, yeah.
All right, cool.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Maria, appreciate it. All right, so next up we have reports from the subcommittees. I believe that Ms. McCarthy has an update from the Transportation Subcommittee.
Yeah, I'll start. So as Mr. Hatcham said, we met today. It's exciting that we have the traffic report coming, and I think the cluster study will be really important for us to kind of be able to move forward. But on that vein, we do have the survey results. So there were surveys sent out to all the parents, and I do think it's important to highlight that maybe this will be a factor in the cluster. Of the, you know, we had a 14% participation rate at the, which one is
That's
this?
just Saugus High School.
This is at the high school, sorry, it's tiny print. So at Saugus High School, we had a 14% participation rate. At the Vets, we had a 22% participation rate. And at the Belmonte, we had a 34% participation rate. So I think it's just important for everybody to know that we've got to, you know, take these surveys when they get sent out if we're going to actually influence some change and be able to have real data on how we can make the streets safer for the kids as they come to school. So that's something that I wanted to highlight. And then the other thing is the policy around the wheels, the e-bike. So, you know, the thinking is that we'll do more of a wheels policy, and we'll kick that over to Ms. Mastrocola and the policy subcommittee to make sure that the students are following all of the safety guidelines for any wheeled apparatus that they might be on campus. And that's it for
On a
now.
transportation front, and I don't know if this is the right time to talk about it, but one of the suggestions that someone had given to me, it's just something we should think about. A lot of the parents, when there's no snow, park across the rail trail at the Belmonte, and they walk across the rail trail through the track and over. Once there's snow, they can't do that. So I think that just puts more stress on the back of the school. So I don't know how we would go about it, and it's probably something we'd have to talk to the town about. But what would be ideal is to pave a little section from the rail trail to the fence at the back of the Belmonte. And then when it snows, you could plow that trail, and people could still, like, actually, Mr. O'Brien, who lives on one of the side streets, took a snowblower out and did it on the first storm, but it wasn't the best. It was still like muddy and tough to get through. So it would be, I think it's worth looking into from a transportation standpoint
Absolutely.
to still allow people to park on those back streets and walk through. So just something to think about. And if it was paved, that would be ideal for everybody.
Yeah.
Got it.
Interestingly enough, right behind that Belmonte is another spot where they can cut out and go right behind the high school as well on that road, the access road to the high school.
Exactly, you can
Yeah,
cut
so
right
it's
over,
not-
so it's a
Yeah,
good,
there- yeah, there
it's a
is.
good escape
It
if
is
you
a
have
good
to go
spot over
somewhere
there,
else.
yeah. All right, we don't have anything else from
I'll
policy,
explain to you
correct?
exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh, and it's hard, there's a path, it's just not paved.
It's just not paved.
Yeah,
exactly.
and we,
You guys all set on
we're good.
Yeah, sorry,
Didn't
we'll
mean
stop
to
talking
interrupt.
on the side.
All right, next we're gonna move on to old business. We have the second reading of new updated policies.
Tom, real quick, can I just do a finance subcommittee update?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah. Is that all right?
All right,
So,
go back. Sorry, go ahead.
we canceled this week's meeting. It was my mistake. I thought that the meeting was early. I canceled the meeting, but I was wrong. But what we have done is we put together a group. In last week's meeting, we had Paula come in and explain to the group what net school spending was, which I think was very eye-opening to some of the members that had joined. We plan to present that type of information publicly. We got to gather a lot more information before we do. We've talked about indirect costs. That's come up in our discussion. Paula provided us the last couple of years. We've now started to ask questions, so we're putting that together in like a uniform way where the questions go to Paula or Mike and they can answer it and we'll get back to us. So our next meeting is 2 weeks from now. This is definitely a marathon. We're going to be doing this for a long time, but I think we'll have some great information when it's done. So the group is really, really dug in and we're finding out some good information, so we'll report back.
Awesome. Thank you, Mr. Doherty, and Ms. McCarthy. Thank you.
Now we're done.
Okay, you guys are the best, thanks. And no updates from athletic well, we're working on policy right now. Yep. All right, so back to old business, second reading of new policies and updates. So we're gonna second read of policy GBEBD, online fundraising and solicitations, crowdfunding, with a possible vote to be taken. Can anybody give us a quick overview of this policy? I know we had first reading already.
This one is easy to read, because it's
Alright.
like two sentences.
Have at it, sir.
The school district employees shall comply with all the following provisions related to online solicitations and use of crowdfunding services for school-related purposes, as well as applicable laws, regulations, and policies. No online fundraising may occur.
Excellent. Everybody have a chance to look over that policy?
Yes.
If so, does anybody want to make a motion to accept?
So moved.
All right, Chair will second. For purposes of discussion, any discussion? Okay, if none, then we don't need a roll call. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, motion carries 5-0. Okay, next up, we have the second read of policy JICAB, Artificial Intelligence Policy, for the possible vote to be taken.
Yeah, I can give you a quick update on this too, because we formed a AI task force, because that's one of the biggest single things happening in education, and it's something that we have to try to make sure that we stay ahead of and make sure we use it as a tool. So there's the purpose of it, and a lot of the things, there are like some big boxes there that we have to stay with human-centered learning. There is an academic integrity part of it. There's privacy and security issues, there's equity, and there's also, one of the things the state is kind of asking us to do is do AI literacy, because that's something that is extremely important. So there's guidelines, or if you read through it, there's guidelines for acceptable use and what's prohibited for students. There's professional use, there's instructional practices, and then there is the data and privacy and vetting of different models that you have. So it's all in there. This is, if you vote this through and adopt it, this is a policy, but this is gonna be a policy that's very fluid, because it could literally change tomorrow as far as the aspects of it. So, again, we're trying to come up with a way to make it safe for the students and usable for students and staff, and at the same time, make sure that the literacy part is there, because the students need to know, what it is they're getting back when they use these AI models. So, it's not perfect, and it's a different way of researching, it's a different way of proofing. It's a valuable tool, but there's a balance.
Mr. Chairman,
Go ahead, sir.
since there's no state one to mirror at this point, this is a Saugus only at this point, and I'm sure it will change, according to Mr. Asham just said. I would just say that we go ahead and vote this in, and then Ms. Mascola put it on her watch list for stuff that's coming forward from the state or wherever
Yeah.
else.
Mr. Chair, we also have a task force that's looking into all this too, so we're actually involved in a group that's taking, we had a webinar, I think it was last night, and all the days are kind of blurring together, but it's staying human in an AI world type of thing. So there's a group of people, there's a group of educators that is doing that have taken the lead on this, so this is not gonna be something to miss. Eventually, the state will have, or the MASC will have a set policy, but even they're like, not positive how to deal with this. Is this an acceptable use policy, or is this one of those academic integrity policies? And really, it's more of a combination of both, because it's something that has to have a responsible use, but it also, floats in that area where it has to also have an academic integrity piece, so.
Yeah.
Mr. Chair, one question.
Sure.
Do we have approved AI tools in the school today?
The one that we currently have, and this would be the large learning, the LLM, the large learning model, that tool that we have in the district is Gemini.
Okay.
That's because we're a Google school. I'm not sure where the status is. I know the staff has access to it. I don't know if the students do. Okay, so that's something that we could open up, because that would give our technology oversight on it type of thing.
something else too,
Yep.
and I don't know, I'm not super familiar with Gemini. I'm
Yeah.
more familiar with ChatGPT.
Me
And
as well.
at my company, we have our own GPT that
Yep.
they created. It would be great to see Desi almost create one that
Yep.
was coded for
Yep.
learning. But anyway, I don't know if it's worth having this task force look into within Gemini. They could create a companion that is designed
School
only
safe.
for the exactly. It's so they basically code it
Yeah.
to fit into the model of what you want it
My
per
my-
building, per
Yeah,
grades.
my guess is because it's Google and Google has invested so much in education, that eventually there'll be
Yeah.
more of a specific threshold.
Yeah.
I'm sure, I'd have to talk to IT.
Well,
I'm
within-
sure there are restrictors on it
Yeah.
right now,
Yeah.
too.
Got
So
it.
that's how, like, all of our IT
Yeah.
workings, there are restrictions. You know, there are restrictions on YouTube, there are restrictions on what they can search.
Mm-hmm.
There, I believe, are gonna be restrictions on the AI platform. Again,
Yeah.
there'll always be a workaround,
yeah.
but we can't really, we don't necessarily work on the people who are trying to get around the system. We put
Yeah.
the system in place for the people who are doing the right thing and try to protect against people doing the wrong thing.
There are definitely some tools available
Yep.
too, where you can dump like a paper in and it will tell you if it was AI generated.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
like that could be something worth looking into.
There
You
are,
do
and I
already
know that
use that.
teachers
Do you already
are
use
currently
that?
using.
Turn it or something.
Yeah.
And turn it in.
Turn
and
it in,
also
yeah.
There is a AI, you can put it in and it'll tell you what percentage
Is yeah.
of the
Yeah.
paper
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
not,
Yeah. Yeah.
generated,
Yeah.
and it'll also highlight it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've heard some of it's good, I've
Yeah.
heard some
It
of
really
it's
is.
bad. I mean,
Yeah.
depending on who you talk to,
Yeah.
like, again, I'm not the expert, that's why I'm taking the
Yeah.
courses, because I'm sort of the dinosaur
Yeah.
in this.
Yeah.
But there are people who tell you that, oh, this is supposed to protect against plagiarism or, you know, but then again, there's ways around it, or people will say, this works really well, and another person who's equally knowledgeable says, no, it's terrible.
Yeah.
So everybody's got their own opinions, but there are ways to try to, figure out how much of what was done was using AI.
I think it's also important as someone like to not push kids away from AI
Yeah.
because
Yeah, right.
I will tell you, I think everybody in their work, companies are going to use AI, so it's like
Yeah.
it needs to be something that they
Well, that's where
learn.
the
So
state is
Yeah.
talking
I
about.
think
the
learning
literacy.
it, the literacy piece is going to be the important factor for students.
And I do think the companion piece is something
Yeah.
worth exploring.
Yeah.
As this AI task force evolves, you could create a companion within Gemini for the math department.
Yep.
And it's coded for
Yep.
exactly how you
Yep.
want,
Well,
within it. So
and-
just,
yeah.
some food for thought
Right.
as you
Well,
work
and
through
then again,
this.
there's also, the fact is, like, this is where we kind of have to embrace it. The ChatGPTs fall into that category of LLM. AI everybody is using AI anyway if you're using Google for spell checks, or when you type something and you see the shadow come out and it assumes your next word. That's true whether you're using what you'd consider an AI platform or you'd consider just a, word platform. That's
Yeah.
AI doing that, there are times where I'm typing in a Google Doc and I get the shadow word coming up because that's AI. So we're using it anyway as part of what's happening. So it's just making sure that people are aware that that's happening. That's the literacy piece. Because again, that's the cell phone autocorrect. I mean, it's guessing what you're gonna type in a text. That's AI. So
Yeah.
everybody's familiar with it, everybody's using it. It's just a matter of, trying to make it work in an educational setting. And again, they're gonna face it. This isn't something we can hide from, and we wouldn't be preparing our students if we didn't have some AI literacy moving forward, because we want them to come out ready to go in the real world, and it's in the real world.
It's actually
Or-
pretty amazing. I just heard Stephanie say, AI, can you please remove Mr. Gould from the meeting? And he's gone.
See? It's a real thing.
Good
It's
job.
very real.
Mr.
So
Chair,
you
can I
have
ask
to.
Go
one
ahead.
more
Yeah.
question? Who sits on the who's on this committee?
I have a few teachers. I also have our IT person, And I had, that's who I have. That's who I basically have. There was a few.
What about a
teachers-
student?
Well, for right now, no, but we will, that'll be something we're gonna expand. The AI task force that I have right now were people that were almost self-selected because they went to a training over the summer. So I'm working with them. That's gonna dissolve into more stakeholders, so there eventually will be.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem.
Anybody remember what we're doing?
You're voting on whether.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, so that's the JICAB Artificial Intelligence Policy. Everybody had a chance to look it over?
Yes.
Can I get a motion to,
I'll make a motion to accept.
okay, Chair will second. Any discussion? Okay, if none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, motion carries 4-0. And next, we have the second read of policy MASC-JJF, student activity accounts.
This is basically rewording a policy that you already have, and it's just giving the principal the authority to, the main difference of what you have and what we don't have deals with the inactive student activity accounts, because there are accounts, whether the club and group dissolved, or they never collected, they never came back for the money. It gives the principal the parameters by which to reuse those funds within the student activities for other groups or things within student activities. And the requirement would be she would come before the school committee, the principal would come before the school committee for approval of making those shifts.
Mr. Chairman,
Go
one
ahead,
question. Is there any precursor around where the money goes? I probably should ask this.
It would be within the scope of student activities. So if there was a club that no longer existed, they could capture that money, that lost money, and put it in a new club that now just started, and give them a little bit of buffer going forward. You talk about the senior class. Right now, the senior class, and I think she just said it, has $30,000 in student activities for the class of 2026. Hopefully, they spend it all on themselves and they leave with a net zero. But we've had classes that are now decades old that have left money behind. We've tried to contact it. That fund's there, but right now, without this policy, there's no wiggle room for the principal to do this. This gives them the pathway to just come before the school committee saying, I'm gonna transfer this funding, this activity source into this activity source. All within student activities.
Makes sense to me.
Yep.
Yep.
Anybody got any questions?
I'll make a motion to accept the policy.
Okay, Chair will second. Any discussion?
No.
Okay, if none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, motion carries 4-0. Okay, next up, we have new business, review discussion of 2026-2027 Saugus Middle High School Complex Program of Studies.
Yep.
Is that Ms. Scazzarella? Or Dr. Scazzarella, excuse me?
Carla is fine. So I really just wanted to make you aware of some things that are new in the program of studies. First of all, on page, if you have it, 22, there's a highlighted area. We are moving to offer semester electives for our seniors that carry all of the skills and any other requirements from the frameworks that they would need in their senior English, but it allows them a little bit of choice as to what they're taking. So for next year, the seniors can just take English 12, or we have 2 new electives coming into play that are built for older students and will allow them to do the types of writing, the vocabulary, the grammar work, the study of other pieces of literature that will be their choice. In talking with the English teachers, I really wanted to make senior year English more purposeful. And I do get tired of kids saying they never get to pick anything. And so we hope to build a group of electives, maybe 6, that would be offered to seniors, and they just have to choose 2. And that would equal their senior English, because they would be doing all of the requirements for senior English, just in a different way. It worked really well at our prior school where I was the principal, and it allows the kids to really have some buy-in to what they're studying, and it prepares them more for after high school, especially if they're going on to school where they do have more freedom to choose. So we are testing it out with 2 electives and keeping English 12. Probably English 12 will stay always as an option, because there are some students that just give me the English 12. You know, I don't want to do any of these other things. So that's the first change. Another change that is in here is I'm trying to corral the 9th grade schedule so that they don't have lots of electives. They shouldn't. They're young, they're not mature enough for some of the things. So some of the things I'm going to talk about, you'll see we're going to run a Algebra Foundations class for 8th to 9th graders that will be invited into this class to do additional math work, because we want to make sure their Algebra 1 skills are strong. That's the basis of every other math that they will do. This next one is on page 34, also in connection, civics in practice. We're going to encourage 9th graders and try to aim them in this direction. And you see from the job description, it'll work on practical skills and habits necessary for high school students and active participation in civic life. And they'll do current events and contemporary issues, ways to keep them interested. But for a semester, they'll all be getting these same study skills, so to speak. So we're going to test that out and see how that goes. Page 41, Advanced Placement Physics 2. So we are offering Advanced Place Physics this year for the first time in quite a while. And there were enough students between the Physics 1 and the Honors Physics who are interested in going to Physics 2. So we thought we offered it long ago, apparently, so we're trying to bring it back and have that science available for our students also. On 42 is the description of that Algebra Foundations class for the 9th graders. Another advanced placement course we're going to put in is Advanced Placement Cyber Security. Up and growing field. We think kids will have a lot of interest in this. So we decided we would try offering it and see what happens. It's a nice avenue for our really techie kids and the kids who love working on the computers. It gives them another view into a possible career path. Then Mr. Serino and I have worked on the wellness program at the high school. The first thing that I asked him about is I wanted to take wellness for 9th grade and make it, health and PE, so health and wellness. That's a full year, but it's 2 semesters worth. I really feel strongly about health being a separate offering for students, especially in the 9th grade. So here's 2 more things that will be in their schedule. They won't really have any option. They have to take this, and this helps like lock in their schedule. So
Is it-
that's there.
I'm sorry, is that 54 or 55 that we're on?
That is, where is it?
54, I think.
54 and 55 is where
You're
wellness
on
starts.
page, I was on the next page, so it's 54 is where you'll see the 9th grade health, 9th grade wellness. We will still be keeping the requirement of 4 years of this, 10 credits worth, but we are also moving to offer personal wellness, which is more health leaning for juniors. Older students need older health discussions and other things that would impact them. So we're going to be saying that juniors need to take personal wellness, and that will be more focused on their health. They also, if they can't fit it in as a junior, they can take it as a senior. And then you see we put in a bunch of electives. Ways for kids to be more involved in physical well-being, activities they can do for the rest of their lives, and some classroom courses, because we do have kids who don't want to be in the gym fully okay with that, as long as they're doing some kind of wellness study. So you'll see things like sport management, sport medicine, but then we have team and competitive sports, we have leisure and lifetime wellness. That'll be the place where they might learn golf or pickleball or things they don't think about when they're 18, but when you're 35, these might be better options for you. And we're also going to have the students who would like to be involved with the adaptive phys ed. That would be as the model students working with our special needs students who do take phys ed but could use, you know, some role models in the class too. So we've revamped our wellness program a bit. We hope it'll be successful. And then you'll see on page 62, we now officially are a 6 through 12 program of studies. The middle school is now in here. Their courses are here, as well as the very last couple pages are some of the high school courses that we've been allowing 8th graders in, most of them, and 7th graders in some, trying to make ourselves into a more comprehensive school as far as 6 through 12. So I felt really strongly about making sure we actually had a program of studies that included them. Just like our student handbook has areas that say high school only, middle school only types of policies and rules and things. Now the program of studies is truly for our whole building, and it'll be, I think, received well. Hopefully, the middle school parents will at least get some course descriptions. They, of course, don't have as many, you know, options. They do have their electives, but that's more about making sure they all get into wellness, they all get into STEM, they all have an opportunity for music. So that's the program of studies and the highlights for the coming year that we put in that were different.
So I do have one question.
Yes, sir.
So for science, we have open SciEd, and we have wit and wisdom for English, and we have Carnegie for math, correct, for middle school?
Yep.
So social studies just, they do their own
Social
thing?
studies has something, well, they do civics in eighth grade,
yep.
but there's a history, I forget what it's called. It's not a set curriculum like the other three, but there is a guideline for them for 6th and 7th grade for social studies. And it does give them a general direction that they should be working toward, plus they go by the state frameworks.
Yeah,
They're just,
there's
it's
no
really
MCAS though,
tough to
correct?
pin down the curriculum for social studies.
That's what I mean, so there's no MCAS for social
No,
studies?
there's no MCAS for it, although 8th grade, they are taking the civics test now in 8th grade. So that's why we make sure that has that focus.
Okay,
Last year was the first year they actually took it for real. It wasn't a pilot.
all right. Anybody got any questions?
No, this is a lot, but it's good reading, so I think it makes sense. I'm happy to see some choices. I think that helps kids, so.
I guess the question would be tonight is, you guys want to vote on this, or do you want to read it and vote on it next meeting? Yeah, it's fine.
That's all right.
We can table it until next meeting, it's not it's not a priority right now, it's right?
No, we're starting to schedule, but
Yeah,
I'm not expecting you to say no.
No, right,
So
no,
they
it's-
can get started with their schedules still for
I
next
mean-
year. It's not a big problem.
I don't know, how do you guys?
Yeah, I mean, I think it probably makes sense for us to take 2 weeks and just give us a chance to
Oh,
read
all right,
through it.
okay.
I don't think we're gonna have any like jumping, and
Yeah.
like, oh, this is no, but yeah, just to read it.
it is like, yeah,
Cumbersome.
I agree, I just don't, sometimes it's easier to bring it home, read it, than it is to vote on it, and then we figure out there's something in there that people don't like, and they're like, well, you guys voted on it, you know, so.
Yeah.
At least this way we can take full responsibility.
Okay,
That's all.
better you than me. Do you want me to highlight the new things for you and then just share it with you? It's a Google Doc too.
If you
Oh,
want.
sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Why
Yeah,
don't
that
I
would be
highlight the
great.
things that
Yeah.
I had here?
That'd be
So
awesome.
those of you that were here before know what I added
Yeah, that'd
and
be
what we
good.
talked about. And then I'll
Yeah,
do that for you tomorrow and get it out.
Yeah, that first one you shared was highlighted in here, but the rest
Well,
weren't.
I
Yeah, it
highlighted
was,
that
like,
for the
grayed
kids.
out. Yeah,
That's
got
why
it.
it's
That's why.
hanging
Got it.
out there, so
Yeah.
they would know they had choices.
Got it.
'Cause they
One
didn't
question,
know.
you know when they're doing the Shark Tank for the wellness?
We just started this quarter, so it probably won't be for a little while,
Oh,
but
right, I forgot they switched.
yeah,
Right,
they
yeah,
switched
yeah.
quarters, so
Yeah.
they're into the second semester course.
Yeah, that's a great take, if anybody
Yeah.
here on the committee, I'll keep you posted if I find out.
Yeah, let us know.
It's pretty good, the kids go in there, they make up a product really, and they have sharks out front, and they gotta try to sell it to them, and
Yeah.
it's pretty cool. They have a different one too, it's strictly marketing though, correct?
It's marketing, and we've asked her to give it a little wellness tilt, so that we can include it in the wellness electives. So that's why it's now kind of called wellness marketing.
Yeah.
So that they can maybe choose things that would be for health and wellness benefit.
Yeah, the kids come up with some good
Yeah, they
ideas
do
last
come
time
up with
around,
some
yeah.
good things. They're
They're
fun.
pretty ingenious. Actually, some of the things I was like, that's not a product now, how come it can't be, you know, so.
So is the only STEM elective offering at the high school level this forensics class?
Well,
on page
extra.
that
There's all the
49.
computer courses
Okay,
in there.
okay. It's the
We
only
have-
one, like,
Yeah, it's the one that's
marked out
by
that
itself
way.
there.
Yeah.
Because everything else is a full year.
Okay.
That's a semester.
I gotcha. Okay, got it.
All right, so it does say possible vote, so can we just get a motion to table till next meeting?
I'll make a motion to table.
All right, want a second?
It's not your job.
Chair will second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, motion carries 4-0. Thank you very much, Dr. Scazzarello.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I suppose you're up for the next one,
I'll
please?
just
All right.
stay here.
Notification of previous SA transfers, possible approval.
All right, so I did move some money last year without asking for permission, so now we have a policy. I'm gonna
Yikes.
ask you to go back and fix that little detail. Basically, when I took over as principal, probably within a week, I got handed a stack of bus bills from at least 2 years, not last year, the year before that, that I was told needed to be paid. And I obviously didn't have anywhere in my operating budget to find almost $10,000 for bus bills. So I went up to see Mary Beth Bertrand, and I said, okay, I need to know about student activities. What's in here? What hasn't been used in years? Where are we? So we basically went through all of the accounts, because I had bus bills for the high school and a couple of bus bills for the middle school to take care of, for many reasons. You don't want to be owing people money, number one, and number two, you're not supposed to carry all that stuff around. So I went through all of the internal accounts, and I did what I've always done as a principal. Anything that hadn't been used, and most of them have not been used since, one was since 2014. So last year, that would have been 10 years at least. And the others were mostly 2018, 2019. And I kind of closed those accounts last year and moved whatever money they had. And I put it in field trips because I needed to pay these bus bills. And they were bus bills for the band, the chorus, the drama. When we weren't hosting Drama Fest, we had to travel there. And that's a big expense too, because you have to take a bus and you have to rent a box truck
Yeah.
to bring your scene with you. So we got that all squared away, and I just did it because that's what I'd always done. And that was probably the policy everywhere else I had ever worked. And I did the same thing with the middle school. We paid for the 6th grade buses not for last year, but the year before. And we closed 3 middle school accounts and reactivated the school's math team. So I needed to pay and there wasn't a lot of money hanging around. I Survived Middle School had $143, Autism Awareness had $106, and the ELA department, for whatever reason, had an internal account that had $16. I needed $250 to pay the entry fee for the math league, so that was where I got it, and I put it all in middle school math. So just like you just learned from that policy, anytime I would want to move money like this, I would just bring it to the school committee and say, this account, because I do have a couple of things I'll probably come in March, to close and move. There's one class with still some money that's been more, they can only have it for 3 years in our building, and it has to be gone. So the class of 2023, if they had any money, this would be their last year that they could keep the money at Saugus High School. They have to take it or donate it to the school. So I think it's the class of 2017 that still has some money, and we haven't been able to get anybody, so I'm just gonna, I probably will give some to the freshman class, because they don't have any money, and I'll put it, maybe with student count, you know, some of the clubs that don't have much that need it, and I'll put it there. One of the big ones was, the class of 2020 had, a huge amount of money left because of COVID, and it was all to pay for the buses for the prom. And then the class of 21 used their deposit on Danversport and all of that, but they weren't allowed to go on the buses.
Yeah.
They had to get their own rides to the prom and get dropped off.
2021, yeah,
21 had the mask. So there was a big chunk of money that I just put in field trips. And now, anytime I have a group that doesn't have any money, that needs a bus, you know, I get the cost and figure it out and let them go, so that we're not, because sometimes if you go to the Museum of Science, you know, they give the students a break, or the Kennedy Library, you can get in for free, but the bus there would cost you $25 a kid.
Yeah.
So if I can pay for buses, I would like to do that as long. That's why I mostly put the money in the field trip account, so I can take care of things like that. Otherwise, this is all things that have been moved around. It's all on the up and up, and now goes under the policy, so I would be asking you to make those transfers official. You now know that I moved money around, and it's all up front.
Anybody got any questions? Okay. All right, well, if, so I gotta get a motion, that's right, so.
I'll make a motion to approve the transfers.
Chair will second. Any discussion? If none, we'll get a roll call from Ms. McBride. Since it doesn't vote.
Yes.
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 Yes. Okay, motion carries 4-0. Thank you, Ms. McBride.
Thank
you, Dr.
you.
Scazzarella.
Thank you.
Just want to mention, we have our accreditation visit. We're 6 weeks out. It's March 30, 31, and April 1st. It's a 10-year visit where they come, and you may have gotten the report a couple years ago on the collaborative conference, they call it. I think they did it in 2023. So this is the big one now. This is the 10-year evaluation of how things are going by this New England Association of Schools and Colleges. So I just want to make you aware, because they are going to want to talk to school committee, and you all probably have to be careful. Probably only 2 of you can go, because otherwise you have a quorum. So I'll be in touch with where in the day that might fit. It could be the Sunday night over at the 4 Points Sheraton in Wakefield. That's where the team will be staying. But we are in good shape. I talked to the chair of our visiting committee yesterday, and I feel pretty good about where we are and the work that my staff has done, and that we're really a 6 through 12 place now. And you know, I'm going to use my program of studies as something to say, see, we're working in this. So
This is new, because it's always been
Yeah.
a high school accreditation.
yes, but because we are a 6 through 12 building, I'm good to include the 6 through 8 people. My 6 through 8 staff has been involved. We'll be having student work
Absolutely.
from the middle school looked at. It'll be really good. So just want to put that on your radar, whoever wants to be part of that.
I'm gonna
I think
require a penthouse suite if I go there, so.
Oh, okay.
So I want it.
I'll make sure they sign you right up. And if you do want to see Saugus perform in the Drama Fest, they are at 1:30 on Saturday. They
Awesome.
are the last ones to go, I think, because we're sort of the
Oh,
home.
good stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so
Or
thank you
can
so
run
much
over
for
there
everything.
Or you
Appreciate
can run over
it.
there right now,
Thank you.
because it starts in 7 minutes.
Okay, next up, we have public comment. Seeing how there's absolutely nobody here, I think we might be safe. Any members have any comments before we pack up shop? If not, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn?
Chair will second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, motion carries 4-0. Thank you, everybody, and Mr. Hashem, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Ms. McBride, always, you're the best. Thank you.